Hello and welcome to this Let's Build a Grey Knights army video with me, Mark, from the Xenovids channel. I'm recording this on Pancake Day. I've eaten half of my pancakes. I've gone with 7 Nutella-filled pancakes. So, first thing I want to ask, what do you have on your pancakes? I tend to go for Nutella. I have been partial to ice cream in the middle with maple syrup on top. Never really had the sugar and lemon combo. Hasn't really done anything for me. But if that's your kind of thing, let me know below. So let's talk about Grey Knights. I did a video recently about army composition, did a bit of a sit and paint, and I talked about having 2 level 3 librarians in my force. That tends to be what a lot of people are into. It doesn't seem to be Grey Knight. A lot of armies, Grey Knight lists that I've seen, they always include at least 1 librarian. So I was looking into having 2 of them. Looking at more detail though at the Santic, I think it is the Santic powers. I'm not too sure that they're great, unless I was facing demons. And the only times in my local area I'm going to be facing demons is against my own Eldar avatar and a Chaos Space Marine Demon Prince from Ian. That's it. So it's not really worth doing that. So I looked at some of the options, asked some of you guys, well I asked, open question, which powers do you often see and which powers are the best, I think, really. If you have 2 level 3 Psykers, what is the best to use? Now Grey Knights are an elite army, which means I have to utilise every phase to do as much damage as possible. Because with an elite army, I get the sense that the best defense for them is their offense capability. So with, say, 16 models on the pitch, on the battle, in the battle, I'm gonna need every phase to do something. It's always gonna matter. I can't make mistakes with such an elite army. So a lot of people got back to me, which was brilliant, about the psychic powers, and they said Divination, Pyromancy and Telepathy are the ones they use. So I just wanted to go through all of the powers and have an open discussion about what would be the best ones to use. The tactics with my librarians, just to let you know. One will be in a squad of Terminators. Terminators will have a Psy Cannon and 4 Demon Hammers, just so I'm guaranteed offensive capability against vehicles. I will then have Drago, a level 3 librarian, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paladins. An apothecary is in that squad within the 5 paladins, and they will all have melter bombs. So again, offensive capability towards vehicles. Each unit's going to have the ability to take down vehicles in my army, which is good because Ian tends to use a lot of vehicles. So I'm going to read through these, starting with Divination, going through to Telepathy, and then finishing on Pyromancy, to kind of have a think of what I want to do. The Terminators and the Paladins have Storm Bolters, a couple of Psy Cannons in each. Oh, the Paladins have 2 Psy Cannons. So we'll see which ones work better, whether buffing my units or being an offensive fire mage thing. Divination then. Primaris power is a Warp Charge 2, that shouldn't be a problem. I've got to have a lot of dice with Grey Knights. Prescience is a blessing that targets a single friendly unit within 12 inches. Whilst the power is in effect, the target can reroll all failed hit rolls. It's alright. It's alright. It was good. Generally going to be using a Storm Bolter, so it should be alright, not bad. Foreboding, Warp Charge 1. Whilst the power is in effect, the Psyker and his unit have the counter-attack special rule and fire Overwatch using their full ballistic skill rather than ballistic skill 1. This does not allow weapons that cannot normally Overwatch to do so. That's good. giving me an extra attack if people charge me, which, because I'm going to be deep striking them in, they're probably going to be charged after being shot at. So that is a good one for them. Forewarnings number 2, Warp Charge 1. It's a blessing that targets a single friendly unit within 12 inches. Whilst the power is in effect, the target unit has a 4-up invulnerable save. Improves their armor, their invuln by 1, I guess. So from a 5-up to a 4-up. And it's a Warp Charge 1, so that's not bad. You get a bit of defense. I'm pretty sure one of the powers in Santic do this as well, and already Divination's looking good. Perfect timing, Warp Charge 1. It's a blessing that targets the Psyker. Whilst the power is in effect, the Psyker in his unit has the Ignores Cover special rule. Probably not going to be anything. Precognition is a blessing that targets the Psyker. Whilst the power is in effect, the Psyker rerolls all failed to hit and to wound rolls. In addition, whilst the power is in effect, the Psyker rerolls failed saving throws. Again, another great defense, Warp Charge 1. You're rerolling the armor saves, and to hit and to wound. So that'll be great in combat, which is, again, they'll probably get into combat. Misfortune, whilst power is in effect, it's Warp Charge 2. All attacks that hit the target unit have the rending special rule. Having a lot of Storm Bolter shots which are potentially re-rolling to hit could definitely be good with Misfortune. And then Warp Charge 2, number 6, Scrayer's Gaze? Scrayer's. It's a blessing that targets the Psyker. Whilst the power is in effect, you can re-roll the dice when rolling for reserves, outflank, and when any of your units identify a mysterious objective. That one's a bit rubbish. I'm generally going to be coming in turn 1, so that is useless. Let's hope I don't roll a 6 if I use Divination. Okay, Divination. It is kind of a psychic discipline that helps me buff my own units. It helps me also have the ability to hurt my opponent quite a bit. I've just seen if I've got my dice here, just to see, just an example of what I could get. If I roll a 6 with these dice, then I will not be happy. Oh, I've ripped the bag. So, 1, 2, 5. Foreboding, counter-attack and all that. Forewarning, 4-up invuln, 5. Misfortune rending. So, good. I'm already leaning towards Divination now. That's kind of cool. Let's have a look at Telepathy. I've never really looked at Telepathy, so it'd be quite good to see what happens. Warp Charge 1, Psychic Shriek, Primaris Power, Witchfire Power with a range of 18 inches. You roll 3d6, subtract the target's leadership. The target unit suffers a number of wounds equal to the result. Armor and cover saves cannot be taken. That's good against unit. It is a Witchfire, it's at the unit, it's not focused, so it's not just one individual thing. 3d6 and subtract the leadership. Average is going to be around 11 or 12. You should be hurting a few things, so that's good. Dominate. Warp Charge 1, it's number 1 on Telepathy. Malediction that targets a single enemy unit within 24 inches. Whilst the power is in effect, the target unit must pass the leadership test. Each time it attempts to move, manifest a psychic power, shoot, run, or declare a charge. If the test is failed, the action is forfeit. That's not bad, however, must pass the leadership test. Does that count for things that... I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. My Tyranids will be under Synapse, do they automatically pass leadership tests? Or are they just fearless? Or is that what fearless means? And Ian's got chaos, which passed leadership. That's something like that. Confusing. Number 2 is mental fortitude, warp charge 1, blessing that targets a single friendly unit within 24 inches. The target is falling back. It regroups. Meh. Terrified! Number 3, warp charge 1. The target is a single unit. It's a malediction. Targets it within 24 inches. Whilst the power is in effect, the target has -1 penalty to their leadership and treats all enemy units as having fear. It's alright. 4 is shrouding, blessing, warp charge 1, and targets the Psyker. Whilst in effect, Psyker and all friendly models within 6 inches have shrouded. It's alright. Invisibility, warp charge 2. Targets a single friendly unit within 24 inches. Whilst the power is in effect, the enemy unit can only snap fire at the target unit, and in close combat will only hit models to hit roll of a 6. Invisibility is quite good. It's the best one so far. Number 6 is hallucination. It's a malediction within 24 inches. D6 is a result on it. 1 to 2, I hate bugs. The unit must take a pinning test. Won't really affect a lot of units that we play. 3 to 4, it's beautiful. Whilst the power is in effect, all models in the unit suffer a -1 penalty to their weapon skill, bonus skill and initiative and attacks to a minimum of 1. 5, you're a traitor. Randomly select one character in the target unit. That model suffers a single strength 3 hit for every model in the target unit. Cover saves cannot be taken, and they can never be allocated to another model if there are no character models in the target unit. And if there are no other models apart from the character model, treat this result as it's beautiful instead. Yeah, telepathy, the Primaris is good, and I like invisibility, but that's 2. Now, invisibility I've seen a lot used, but I am having to roll. Yes, I'm going to have 3 dice to roll randomly what I'm going to have, and I could, if I have it as a warlord, I could get the warlord power where I have an extra power. Three dice becomes a 3 in 6 chance. Maybe for telepathy. I'm liking Divination a little bit more. Pyromancy. The reason I thought about Pyromancy is because I think it could be dangerous. The first one is a Witchfire. It's a template Flame Breath, Warp Charge 1, Strength 5, AP 4, Assault 1, Soul Blaze. Flamers are good, free flamer. Warp Charge 1, Fiery Form. It's a blessing. The Psyker gains 4 up invulnerable save, and his close combat attacks have Soul Blaze. Whilst the powers effect, the Psyker rerolls fail to wound rolls inflicted by any further Pyromancy he feels. It only affects the Psyker Fiery Form, Warp Charge 1. If it had affected the whole unit, that would have been better. Fire Shield. This target a single friendly unit within 24 inches. Whilst this power in effect, the target has a 4-up cover save, and all enemy units treat all terrain within 6 inches as dangerous terrain, even in open ground. 4-up cover save is great. There are quite a few weapons that ignore cover saves, but it's quite good so far. Spontaneous Combustion, Warp Charge 1. It's a focused Witchfire with a range of 18. The target model suffers a Strength 6 AP3 hit with Soul Blaze. If the model is slain by the hit in the psychic phase, center a small blast marker over the target before removing him as a casualty. All other models under the marker suffer Strength 5 AP4, blah 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 blah. So generally, you fire at a group, the thing will die. You then get a Strength 5 AP4. Small blast ignores cover Soul Blaze. So this would be alright at taking down, you can take down a Space Marine, any troops really, and then if they're hordes, the blast will help out with that, so it's alright. Pyromancy Warp Charge 1 Sunburst number 4. It's a Nova, 9-inch, strength 4, AP 5, assault 2d6, ignores cover soul blaze. I think that's pretty much the same as the one in the Grey Knights Codex. Inferno is a Witchfire. 24 inches, strength 6, AP 5, assault 1, ignores cover large blast soul blaze. Molten Beam is number 6, Warp Charge 2. Range 12, strength 8, AP 1, assault 1, melter. Beam. Okay. So Pyromancy. What am I seeing with Pyromancy? It is a discipline where you can have a Flamer. 2 of them are to help your Psyker and your unit with cover saves. Pyromancy, Sunburst, and Spontaneous Combustion, Sunburst, and Inferno will be good against hordes. 6 will help you against vehicles. If I took Pyromancy against Imperial Guard, it wouldn't help me a lot unless I rolled a 6. If, however, I was playing Tyranids, Pyromancy might actually be a good one to use. Now, or anything low toughness, really. So, Tau Fire Warriors, Eldar Warriors, like Guardians and Aspect Warriors, Orcs and stuff like that. So the armies they'll be going up against are going to be Imperial Guard, essentially tanks. Eldar, I've got 5,000 points of Eldar, I can use whatever I want. Tyranids, 4,000 points-ish of whatever I want. So they might be good against that. Dark Eldar, Pyromancy be great against that. Space Marines, probably not the best against them. Chaos, no, unless he did Cultists, but Ian doesn't have Cultists. Space Wolves again, no. So, Xeno armies won't like Pyromancy, and especially Horde armies, so Orcs and Tyranids won't like that. Divination has, I think, won me over, and I think Telepathy is my least favourite. I like 2 of the powers, but it's randomly determined what you have, so I can never just be like, yes, I want that one. So I'm probably going to go for Pyromancy or Divination, depending on who I go for. If I go for Marine armies, probably just Divination and stuff like that, but any Xeno armies, probably Pyromancy. Okay guys, I've read out all the rules for the psychic powers. Let me know what you think about my thoughts, and if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, and again, what is great for Grey Knight Librarians to take, and how will it help in the tactics I've used. 5-man squad of Paladins and Drago and a Librarian, and a 5-man Terminator squad with a Librarian. What's going to help me? Please help. Thanks very much for watching. It's just me rambling on again, as I'm going to do a lot in this series. So I'm going to go and paint some more of these bases from Tiny Worlds Wargaming. Thanks very much for watching. I've been Marc from the Xenovid channel. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will see you on our next video.